afternoon, everybody, and what another fantastic day we have today. Planning for an incredible event. Think about the timing. I'm going to give a few people time to get on here, but I got to tell you, I want to see those thumbs up. I want to see those hearts. Give me a little bit of that reaction here because you all deserve the reaction after this long journey that we had that started last summer in July for Unlock Michigan. And to go through all the hills and valleys, turning them in record time, in record numbers, with record number of citizens participating, only to have the Secretary of State and Governor try to squash the will of the people, and it simply did not work, did it? So I'm just going to give it again a few minutes. Came on a couple minutes early because I couldn't hold myself back. I wanted to read to you some information and also talk about tonight's event as well, but I just have got to tell you, getting this word today reminds me of the day, October 2nd of last year. We delivered 540,000 signatures down to Lansing to the Secretary of State's office. And as those were being delivered, you remember later on that same day, the Supreme Court ruled that the law was considered unilaterally unconstitutional back to April 30th. What a gigantic victory it was on a day that we turned those in. And on a day that we chose today, randomly, to choose to ignite the masks and ignite our passions to protect and preserve our freedoms going forward, is the same day that the Supreme Court rules this morning that the Board of Canvassers must do its job, recognize the will of we the people, and certify this petition initiative so that this law can be forever removed from the laws of the state of Michigan. It is a fantastic day. I wish that we could all clap together. I wish I could hear you clapping, but I know that you're out there. I've got the order right here in my hands, and it came down this morning from the Supreme Court. Unlock Michigan and George Fisher and Nancy Hyde-Davis, who, by the way, are people that have been with us since the beginning. They have been incredible patriots. They were circulators. They were signers of the Unlock Michigan petition, and they have been working behind the scenes on Stand Up Michigan in all our social media platforms to keep us safe and to keep us here. They volunteered at all of our events, or a lot of our events, and helping sell merchandise. And these two people are named specifically as plaintiffs in this reaction or this order that came and was sent through the Supreme Court. So the order comes down today. It says, on order of the court, the motion to intervene is granted. The complaint is considered and is granted. We direct the Board of Canvassers to certify the Unlock Michigan petition as sufficient. The board's duty with respect to petitions is limited to determining the sufficiency of the petition's form and consent, and whether there are sufficient signatures to warrant certification. Stand Up for Democracy versus Secretary of State. That is from 2012. In reviewing the petition signatures, the board's role is circumscribed to canvassing the petitions to ascertain if the petitions have been signed by the requisite number of qualified and registered electors. In doing so, the board may use the qualified voter file and the registration records by the clerk of any political subdivision in order to determine the validity of the petition signatures by verifying the registration of signers or signatures on the petition when the qualified voter file contains digitized signatures. The board's investigative powers, if you recall, they said we wanted to do an investigation after the fact, after the Attorney General had said there isn't anything to investigate. That was the reasoning one of this Board of Canvassers did what they did. It says the Board of Canvassers' powers relate only to the objects of investigation listed, whether the petitions have been signed by the requisite number of qualified and registered electors. Consequently, an investigation that goes beyond the four corners of the petition itself, the validity of the signatures, into the circumstances by which the signatures were obtained, is clearly beyond the scope of the board's authority. They knew this all along. It was a delay tactic. It was to get the Unlock Michigan people to have to spend a lot more money in order to do what? In order to preserve the rights and the will of we the people, who did exactly what the law prescribed, and that was get enough signatures to repeal an existing law. If you remember, the House and the Senate both tried to get rid of and repeal this law, and the governor vetoed it. And she even hinted at the fact that she may utilize it again in the future. And this Supreme Court that sits there in Lansing right now, if it had not been repealed, may have looked at that law differently. It is that important that it be removed. So in the present case, The board approved the form and consent of the petition in July 2020. The Bureau of Elections analyzed the signatures using a random sampling method and estimated that Unlock Michigan submitted at least 460,000 valid signatures when they only needed 340,000. The board rejected by deadlock vote a motion to investigate the collection of signatures. The board thus has a clear and legal duty to certify this petition. It is not signed. What that means is it was a unanimous vote of those present, or there would have been some dissension or whatever, but it is most likely a unanimous decision because it was clearly out of their lane, out of their area, and this person that is on the board of canvassers should remove themselves for literally blocking what they knew was illegal at the time, and what I believe so did the legal people along and with the Secretary of State's office. They have tried to put up a barrier on your behalf at every step and every turn that they could. And we simply are saying we're not going to stand for it any longer. And the Supreme Court ruled with us today. It is a monumental day. It is a day that we should all be celebrating. And yet I want you to go back and realize what we did collectively, again, with 500 and almost 40,000 individuals signing this, and 40,000 plus of you being willing to circulate these petitions in order to get this done. Now the Board of Canvassers will have to certify, and then it will immediately, within the week to follow, go to the House and the Senate to be voted on. A simple majority will rule, and the law will be repealed forever. That is a fantastic thing to say, forever. The 1945 law that we discussed a year ago will be gone. That's a fantastic thing. And tonight, right here, for those of you that don't know, or those of you that haven't heard, tonight is the night that we are going to, again, unite to ignite our masks and to ignite our passions and to celebrate and to restore and protect and preserve our freedoms and liberties that we so easily gave up during the process. Think about what we're doing today. We're going against the mask, against the shutdowns, against all the things that those executive orders did to you and your business and your lives and the schools. And all of those things were considered illegal from April until October. All of those things that we're celebrating again tonight are so that our freedoms and liberties would not just be preserved now, but forever in the future. And that we would never allow any governor again, not just to choose an emergency order that would be unilateral across the state in all aspects of our lives, but that we would not follow any longer. We would not consent any longer, anymore, or ever in the future again. If the majority of us stood together and defended our rights and liberties from the beginning, they would have had no choice but to modify what it was that happened. Instead, our state was just said in a recent, I think it was economic poll, that we are 50th out of 50 states in recovery from COVID economically. 50th. And yet we are in the top 2 or 3, depending on category, of the entire nation in lockdowns and in consistent controlling of every aspect of our lives and our children's lives. So today is a day to celebrate. Today is also the day to commit to re-engagement. I ask you to share this video with everybody that you know so that they can see it. I ask you to go to standupmichigan.com. I'm going to click my little banner over here while I go to this part right here. And the reason that I want you to do that is you have to join our email. Understand there are things we cannot discuss specifically on certain social media platforms. You're fully aware why. But we're going to talk about them tonight. We're going to talk about them together. In an email, we talk about them, and on our locals, we talk about them. And if you go to standupmichigan.com and sign up under your county, we are expanding to county chapters. That is so that this next step is going to be much easier. We can identify you by the area in which you live and connect you with others in your area to join together in order for us to battle the next battle. The next battle is going to be multiple-pronged approach. We have election integrity. We have issues with schools. We have these of our children. We have issues that are going on right now that we need to battle. In-person learning, critical race theory. There are all kinds of areas that we have to get involved as a group of people, and it's going to happen one community at a time. We need you to sign up and join up so we can connect with you that way. There is more coming. What we did last summer was yet a preview of what we're going to need to do in these next couple of years. I will have more for you on this very soon, but we are going to need your help in the same manner very soon. We're going to leave that there, but I need you to be engaged and be ready, because it's going to be areas that are going to spark your fires and ignite your passions as much as tonight will. So tonight, at the Deltaplex in Grand Rapids, 6 o'clock for music, food trucks. There's going to be cold beer. I say that because it's going to be close to 90 degrees. Who cares about the heat? Because we're going to be lighting fire. We're going to be taking those face coverings. We're going to be having you mark on them and write on those in a symbolic way as we burn those and as we begin to unite together to drive, again, our freedom and speak about our freedoms. We have a great list of speakers tonight. Tammy Clark and Kristen Megan are going to be leading the charge tonight. Justin Barkley from Wood Radio is going to be speaking. We've got Steve Redmond from Ottawa County Patriots. We've got Annie Padnod from the Americans for Prosperity. I will be speaking there. We're going to have, like I said, music and food and celebration together for what we have accomplished because of we the people, for we the people, because that's how it was meant to be. That's how our Constitution was written. It's how our state constitution was written. And though the laws in a lot of ways have not been upheld by our courts and whatever, this particular one, through long battles and through a lot of support from many organizations and people, but mainly it could not have been done if it wasn't for we, the people, going out and having all of that energy that you had during lockdowns in order to get this done. There's more to do. There's more to protect. With what happened last November, we are nowhere near done yet. We need you to sign up at standupmichigan.com. All you're going to do is do it. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer. Just go to standupmichigan.com. You will choose your county. You'll give us your information, and we'll be able to connect with you, and your county leaders will get together with you when we're going to meet, and then you can decide in what area you want to help your community recover and be, again, to preserve and to restore those freedoms so that we will never, ever be in this position again in the state of Michigan. It's up to us. It's not up to a governor. It's not up to a legislature. It's certainly not up to a judge. It's up to we the people. And if we stand together and say no, then this will never happen again. We cannot consent. We cannot conform any longer to any mandates that are against our individual constitutional rights and freedoms. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly. Those are three areas that you know we've been under attack. And with social media and the way that they are hammering down on our constitutional rights and our freedom of speech, the censorship is real. It's the reason we have to connect in other ways, in person, by county, handling things one local community at a time. And that's our goal at Stand Up Michigan. That's where we're headed now. We're going to need your help, and we're going to need it in the future. But for right now, I want you to enjoy the day. I want you to enjoy being together tonight, and come again. Bring your mask. We'll have plenty there for you to write on if you don't have one, because I don't have an extra, I can tell you. But if you don't have one, we will have one for you, symbolically for you to burn and say, we are not going to allow this again, and we're not going to allow this on our children again this summer or this fall as they go back to school. And together we're going to do that. We're going to open our businesses, and we're going to celebrate the freedoms that we all were, again, provided for us by our forefathers, but ultimately by our Creator himself. America's best is yet to come. Have a great day, and we'll see you tonight. Share this video. Thanks.